Welcome, guys. Shake hands.
Gents, this is a repeat of last year's semi-final, I believe. Monaco, of course, went on to be the first ever eFootball Pro champions. Some different players involved, but still, Barcelona will perhaps fancy a bit of revenge and hope to get matchday 5 off to the best possible start.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yes, Monaco have that extra player in Kilzu that wasn't there last season, but he's fit in like an absolute glove so far. He has not missed a step. He's currently the leading goal scorer of the eFootball Pro, if I'm not mistaken, with Uzmakabil on top of the assist table as well. So he's fit right in there, but you're right about Barcelona fielding an entirely new lineup, and it's worth noting as well because the new data pack is in play. We have some new transfers, new players for these players to maybe look at featuring within their starting 11s, and also have to think about the outgoings as well. You know, I know Barcelona have lost a couple of players here and there that they were fielding week in, week out in the eFootball Pro, so definitely something to think about here.
Certainly as well, so I think I'm right in saying Carlos Perez played a match day 1. Of course, he's left to Roma on loan, so some teams will be happy with the signings that their clubs have made, and others might be thinking, oh, we've lost someone that actually we quite like playing with.
Yeah, well, the most notable one here for me is the fact that Monaco are without Naldo. Now, it was Naldo and Glick for so long that were the physical kind of dominating force at the back line for Monaco. Now they've got Marapan, who is no slouch in stat balancing mode, but it's not Naldo. Naldo was the best defender that was here. He was rated 90, he was strong as an ox and could control the back line. I think it's always going to be the outgoings that are going to be more important to what teams are looking at rather than their incomings.
It's one of those fans might not have been too sad to see him go, but the boys here must have been like, oh, Naldo's left. But anyway,
Yeah.
such is life, and because mirroring the real clubs, that is what can happen. Match day 4, Barcelona were also involved in the opening game. They played Schalke. Draw on a last gasp win, so they did pretty well then. Can they do the same against Monaco today?
I think it's a completely different question to really ask of them against AS Monaco here. As we've alluded to, AS Monaco top of the table, they are undefeated. If they are able to get 2 points, as Celtic were able to with 2 draws last week against the current league leaders, again, I would see that as a win. But we know Barcelona quietly confident, obviously always respecting their opponents, so we'll see what the Blaugrana have to really offer for us here in our first match of the day.
Getting some great insight here into the very final preparations of all 6 of the players, but we are pretty much there. Monaco or Barcelona, who can kickstart match day 5 of eFootball Pro with a victory? We're not great at mathematics between us, but we're trying to work out if Monaco were to win both of their games today, would they almost have booked a top 6 finish? We think not quite, but they will almost be there. So here we go. It's Monaco to get us underway. Harry Channon to talk you through the action.
Thank you very much, Chris. Wonderful to have you with us here in Barcelona for eFootball Pro. And Monaco, as they often do, starting in a very attacking sense, attacking from left to right in their famous red and white kits. We have, of course, Barcelona attacking from right to left in the away strip. Wezza is with me, and Wes, yeah, Barcelona here attacking early. Venomous shot from Suarez to start things off. Both teams really going for the jugular early on. Do you expect that here in this match? You can see some of the stats from both clubs. Do you think they're both going to be going for the jugular?
Well, Monaco, traditionally, they come out of the they come out of the blocks very, very quickly. And I think looking at it, I think that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to impose their will on the game very early on. It's going to be whether Barcelona can keep them out.
Here's Balde. Tries to play it across to Slimani, and it's the first goal of the game. Slimani has been so crucial to AS Monaco so far. And the league leaders, undefeated, have scored first against Barcelona. A wonderful break. And it's something to think about now for the Catalan club, as they are down early, 1-0 to Monaco.
Yeah, as we saw there as well, it's Golovin that kind of originates the move, and it just goes across the line, and it eventually finds its way to Balde.
You mentioned on the plane over yesterday, Suleimani will be the main guy today, Harry. He scored very early on.
He has.
Turns out you do know what you're talking about.
He's someone that Monaco have targeted more often than not, and You thought Balde in there might maybe take the strike on first and foremost, but they always look for Slimani, obviously on loan to AS Monaco. He's the man to score first, and now Barcelona, they have questions to answer. Lotfi, the goal scorer, not often chiming in with goals. I say that, he has 7 to his name, and is often the firefighter, I suppose, for AS Monaco, putting out the fires defensively where needed. Golovin here, chasing the ball, Slimani in once again. Bodies on the line, though, for Barcelona. You can see how that affects the goal leaderboard. Lotfi now up to 4th with 7 goals. And so far, whereas Barcelona struggling really to get things going, obviously still early on here in the game. They have Dembele here, playing inside to Rakitic, but again, that pass is not often going to come off. Here is Rakitic once again. The first touch, though, not good enough, and Barcelona seem to be rushing things a little bit so far.
Yeah, they seem to be trying to chase the game very early on. I mean, they find themselves 1-0 down, but, you know, 1-0 is a very fine scoreline. It's not, you know, you're not out of it with a 1-0 scoreline. And I think at the moment, it's going to take them a little bit of time to really find out how to really defend this Monaco attack, because at the moment, they don't really seem to have an answer for it.
Here is Suarez. Tackled again by Marsoulon for the Monegasque side. Monaco so far this eFootball Pro season, they have just looked to attack. And one of the things that, I mean, speaking to Lotfi last match day, 2 draws. I mean, they weren't beaten by Celtic, but he was still gutted, absolutely disappointed. And I think that speaks to the mentality that they have as champions. Here is Slimani trying to play Sealer in on this left-hand side, and side netting so close, but once again it's pretty flawless there from AS Monaco.
Well, we were talking about new signings. Fofana seems to have made its way into this Monaco starting 11 quite quickly, and he's making a real difference in the middle of the park. They look a little bit more mobile. They don't look like they're trying to press the game as much. Instead, they're looking to actually work this through midfield.
Yeah, Monaco, one of the clubs here in the eFootball Pro that would have benefited from the winter transfer window, adding 4 players to their squad, either returning from loan or through outright transfers. Barcelona losing a few players. Carlos Alenia, Todibo actually is an eFootball Pro transfer. He's gone from Barcelona and has now gone to Schalke 04. So see if the German outfit can use Todibo as Barcelona were able to earlier on here in the season. And it's really intriguing, Wes, to see these players move clubs, especially when it's 2 clubs featured within this competition. Looking for Leo Messi here. We'll get a second chance. Here is Messi. Can he beat Maripan to the ball? His right-hand side looking for Suarez, but that's a low percentage one. Marsoulon does well there at the back, and now a chance for a counter. Here is Slimani. Golovin tries to feed it back to him. The control there, not there. You could see Keita Balde waiting in the centre, but Barcelona, they're settling into this game now. Here is Dembele looking for Messi. Suarez and Vidal waiting in the centre, but again, they just can't find that cutthroat pass.
Yeah, I think if you're Barcelona, you need to start using the weapons that you have as opposed to the weapons that you don't. You know, you're not going to beat Monaco aerially. You're not going to beat them via crosses. You're going to beat them by movement, by pace, by speed, by, you know, movement of the football. It's not going to be, you know, aerial assaults from Barcelona that are going to win the day here.
Golovin charged down by Sergi Busquets, and now here is a counter-attacking opportunity maybe for Barcelona. They are doing, as you said though, Wes, maybe trying to calm the ball down, retaining possession, not trying to force things too much. And you were saying you'd like to see them play a little bit more down the wing. Maybe that's what they'll try and do here. Yeah,
I mean, it's just a case of keeping the ball. You know, Monaco are at their weakest when they don't have the football. You know, the easier you give it them back, as we see there, you're immediately opening yourself up to opportunities of counter-attack. Whereas, you know, you can see here Barcelona are trying to make their way through here. I mean, they're trying to get kind of lucky bounces and get free, but it's just not going their way at the moment.
Certainly is not. We have 2 world champions going up against each other here as we enter the half. There's now some changes maybe to be made. We have, of course, Bifera, the 2019 world champion of the co-op side of things, and then 1 versus 1 world champion on the other side in Usman Abil. So very tantalising affair we have here, Chris.
Certainly, half-time, Monaco 1, Barcelona 0. And are we seeing just why Monaco are the defending champions and still unbeaten? They didn't necessarily have loads and loads of attack, but they looked incredibly solid, and when they did have a good opportunity, they were clinical.
Yeah, it's that moment. It's the way that Monaco have always attacked. They attack in such a way that they only need one chance to really put it away, and that's all they needed.
So then, second half of this first leg underway. Worth reminding you, we do play 2 matches between 2 clubs here in the eFootball Pro. Barcelona now attacking from left to right. This is, well, it was nice from Messi before the wayward first touch, and unfortunately pressured a little bit early there by Fofana. Balde gets the rub of the green, but that's cleared away, and it's been a scrappy start to this second half. Obviously just 5 minutes gone. Slimani trying to lay it off to Golovin, but Barcelona really so far struggling to get a hold of the ball here in the midfield. Here is Sila. Lovely back heel to Golovin. Slimani. Just too many bodies in the way though for Barcelona.
Well, if there's a defender that you want trying to mark Slimani, it's Gerard Piqué. In terms of physicality, he will match him blow for blow. It's just what they can do here. Suarez just can't get past Maripan.
Just too many bodies in the way, and it's again about trying to lock or unlock the puzzle so far that is the AS Monaco defence. You can see there a foul on Fofana will allow possession to go the way of AS Monaco, and a long ball is punted up towards the target man. It's actually going to roll all the way through. It's Kilzu to stick it home. The leading goal scorer extends his lead at the top of the goal scoring charts. It's the second for Monaco, and it's a defensive mistake from Barcelona.
First rule of defending, you always give it a shout. Somebody has to go and meet that ball. You know, you're going to afford Monaco those types of chances in the box. They're not gonna put that wide. They're not gonna, you know, take that as a gift. It was just one like really good ball in, but somebody has to meet that. You don't let the ball bounce in the box. You just don't. No
one attacking the ball, and it's assist from his own half from a Monegasque player, and nightmare situation for Barcelona. They now trail the current champions 2-0. Can they get an instant response? Here is Ousmane Dembele looking for Suarez in the centre, charged down by Maripan. And now a corner. Would you say, Wes, maybe they have to score very soon if they want a chance? I'll come back to you in a second. If they want to get anything out of this first game, do you think maybe a goal within the next 10 in-game minutes?
Yeah, I would say so, and I think I was looking from Barca's standpoint, you need to play more narrow. You know, like I said, it's great having the likes of Dembele and Griezmann and Suarez and these, you know, Messi and all these great players. But if you're not utilising them in the right formation, then you're the prophet of your own downfall at this point. And I think, looking at it, they need a tactical switch, not just a mental switch. They need a tactical one as well.
Suarez now charged down by Jemison, and it's really been hard for Barcelona to get anything in the final third. Here is Sila. Slimani, is he on? Unfortunately not. Linesman raises his flag. There's Maccabiel there going a little too early. And here come the changes from Barcelona.
Yeah, and like I said, looking at it, it's what have you got on your bench? What have you worked out in, you know, in the weeks off or the couple of weeks that you have, and, you know, getting used to the data pack from last week? How important is it?
We were talking in the weigh-in as well. You mentioned a lot of players change their attackers, but actually you change your defenders or your wing-backs or your full-backs, and that can be just as important.
Yeah, because we've seen it time and time again here in terms of heavy touches from very tired defenders, which have led to very late goals. I think if you were to start looking at substituting your defenders, not all of them, but if you were to take 1 or 2 out, especially if you're in the ascendancy in Monaco's point of view, although Monaco are all action and all out attack, so they've made attacking changes there. If you notice there, though, they've brought on Bakayoko to replace Fofana, just have a midfield engine.
So then, changes come in. Griezmann actually coming on for Barcelona, not the tallest of players. We'll see if he can make the difference. Here is another new entrance to the pitch. Collado looking for Suarez, cut out by Jemison. And unfortunately for Barcelona, no matter what they try, whether it's narrow, wide or long ball, it seems to be AS Monaco have the reading of them so far here in this first game. That's a mistake though. Here is Griezmann. Finds Collado, but unfortunately, again, just the pressure, the early pressure from Monaco so far is just being so successful, and right now Barcelona don't seem to have an answer for it. That's a good ball to Griezmann, maybe looking out wide there to Messi, but instead feeds it back to Collado. Here is that man, Messi. Charged down though by Maripan. Good defending once again from Monaco.
Yeah, it's those fine reactions. Messi could have easily fired that ball across the box, but you take that touch, you take that extra moment, and Monaco are on you in the defensive environment. Meanwhile, Slimani puts it onto Pellegrini.
Pellegrini here, tries to fire it across the face, but charged down for a corner. Time ticking down though for Barcelona. 77th minute. They need to get a goal fairly quickly, and right now the ball is up the opposite end of the pitch. It's Marcelin to try and fire it in, only as far as ter Stegen, and maybe Barcelona here might try and stage a counter, but unfortunately it's again AS Monaco winning the ball. That's a mistake. Griezmann though can't capitalise, and look at the run in behind from Pellegrini. Lucky Barcelona were able to cut that one out, and here is Messi looking for Griezmann. Oh, it might still drop from here. Griezmann! Wonderful save. Pushes it round for a corner. We'll see it here again in the replay, where it's wonderful reaction save from the Monaco #1.
Yeah, it was a great save from the keeper, and again, it's that little bit of fortune that Barca are getting, but it's coming a bit late. There's, what, 9 in-game minutes plus stoppage? We've seen late finishes and late goals, but I can't see a way through unless there's a goal off this corner.
Did that need to go in, Wes?
I think so. I think they needed a goal probably about 15 in-game minutes ago, but if they get one now, it'll set up a nervy finish to it, and whether they elect to go for it or save it for the next game, will, time will tell. But they need to find a way through this Monaco defence at this point.
Leo Messi to whip this one in, looking for Lenglet up for the attack, but now it's time for Barcelona to try and recycle possession and really, again, try and break down this Monegasque defence. That's a nice ball through to Piqué. Into Griezmann now, has Suarez to look for. Back to Messi was the target, but good little period of sustained pressure here for Barcelona. Here is Piqué joining the attack now. Messi looking for Griezmann, but you can see tremendous work from Ismacabil to really shut down that passing lane, and now it's Monaco with the ball with time on their side as well. 87th minute. Could there be another goal for AS Monaco? Keita Baldi chopped down, and the referee will bring that one back. Chris next to me is calling for a card. We'll see what the referee produces.
Can't believe he hasn't given him. Oh, he has.
Oh, no, he has.
Longley was booked.
Lenglet into the book and knocked down into the box. Here is Gelson Martins. What a goal from Kilsue. Absolutely wonderful. His 11th of the season. 3-0 Monaco, and that now is dead and buried.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and again, we talked about the first goal that's conceded by set pieces. It's the same thing again. You're giving Slimani way too much time to be able to knock that ball down into a dangerous area. You have to go and challenge the ball. You can't just allow these guys to kind of... I mean, if you look there, they tried, but they could easily position their player in front of Slimani and make it harder, rather than coming to try and defend the header from an angle. You could get in front of him and just try and disrupt him a little bit more.
Got a very early contender for match day 5. Goal of the week there, I think, off the post.
Might be looking at €10,000. But yeah, you're right, Wes. 2 players coming across. Just left all the room, even if Gelson Martins wasn't able to fire in that last-minute goal. There was a man across for Monaco, and it could be 4 here. Still time on the clock. Gelson Martins finds Pellegrini, who assisted that goal. It was interesting for me to see Pellegrini actually on the free kick in the centre circle, but a wonderful result. Back to winning ways here for AS Monaco. They will remain undefeated for now. And really, adjustments need to be made for Barcelona here going into our second game, Wes.
Yeah, and we talk about it all the time. We talk about how teams should prepare for other teams, and I think in this environment, Barcelona have just come in with the same game plan they've had for everybody else, and especially with the way that these guys study, game film, we've seen it with loads of different teams as to how much they research their opponents. If you've got plan A, you need C, D, E, F, G, and you can't just go in with the same thing again and again.
Oh, here is the opening goal made by Slimani and Golovin. Sorry, that wasn't the opening goal. But something that struck me was that in the final third, perhaps Barcelona tried to overplay it a bit. Monaco were a little more direct and a little more clinical.
Yeah, it was really the tale of that first game, wasn't it? I mean, the high press really from Monaco is what confused and really pressured Barcelona too much. And honestly, they need to work on their set pieces, because 2 of their 3 goals for Monaco came from free kicks around the halfway line. Yeah. I mean, you can see here in their own half, just an easy, just lofted ball, really. No one going to meet it, and Sila is just, he's got the chance of his lifetime right there. He's never going to miss that.
And that's the killer second goal, because at 1-0, even if we thought Monaco probably looked stronger of the 2 teams, takes one moment and Barca back in it. As soon as it's 2-0 down, you could sense really that Monaco, given their record this season, probably thought, well, we're not going to throw this one away.
Well, we saw it last match day with Celtic in very similar kind of circumstances. There was a goal in either time, and when a goal then goes in last minute, you've not got enough time to react. And I think it was similar here. Had Barcelona held out that 1 goal, that 1 goal deficit, they could have potentially got themselves back into it. But as soon as that second goes in, kind of kills the game before it's really killed off with the third.
Kills you, the first player in the second League Football Pro season to reach double figures. He's done it in double quick time, and he's now up to 11. I mean, that's an extraordinary record.
What's extraordinary about that is that he has so much pressure coming into this season, joining the reigning champions, joining the reigning world champion in the 1 versus 1 category. I mean, we can't state how incredible it is when you consider his age as well. One of the youngest players in the eFootball Pro season has just fit in like a charm. And right now, Barcelona, they really don't know how to shut all 3 of these players down. I mean, even Lotfi chiming in with a goal. It's not often we've seen that so far this season. And he's, again, chasing the top 3 goal-scoring leaders so far, which all seem to be AS Monaco players.
They do. Live league table, Monaco are 5 points clear now of Juventus and of Bayern. How do Barcelona come back? I think, for me, this is one of the great things about eFootball Pro, is that it's back-to-back games. If you get a bit of a hammering, like Barca have just had, you can't leave the stage. And what was that? 3 minutes later, you're back in action. How quickly do you need to forget what happened in the last game, Weza?
I mean, it's immediate. You have to just completely forget what's happened. And in the best respects, tomorrow is another day, which is the exact same thing with this, where, one game is not the same game. You have to just kind of get on with it.
So the instant reset required for FC Barcelona. They are attacking now from left to right in their famous Blaugrana kit, and then we will be seeing the Monegasque club actually fielding their away kit. Can't think too many times we've seen that so far this eFootball Pro season. The ball there looking for Balde will not be enough, and Nelson Semedo will clear that one away.
Yeah, the thing that Barca need to be really careful of now is not to allow history to repeat itself. They can't concede early. They need to get the first goal here to really just put the frighteners on Monaco. But it's how do you stop this attack? If you don't win the first ball against Slimani, you've got runners off him, you need to contain them as it goes in, and Balde makes it 1-0.
As easy as that. It's Keita Balde for AS Monaco to fire home the first goal, and it's around the same time, Wes, that we saw the first goal in the first game between these 2 teams.
It's the curse of the commentator, isn't it? You say don't concede early, and then what happens next is the next passage of play is conceding early. And I think, Barcelona just looking really quite shell-shocked at the moment.
I just saw a shake of the head from Henriquinho, the MVP on matchday 4. He's going to need to produce something special here. Once again, Barca not able to clear their lines, and this is, we use that word clinical, that is another clinical finish. One touch, a bit of a toe poke, actually.
Yeah, tremendous finish it is, but what's worrying for me, looking at this replay, the amount of Barcelona players, controlling players on the ball. I mean, you don't all need to be rushing to pressure the first man for AS Monaco. Monaco do it so well because they know they have players covering the runs in behind, but right now Barcelona do not have that, and that's just left a wide open gap, really, in the centre of the pitch.
It goes back to one of our previous points in the previous match day, is the lack of communication you sometimes see from the players themselves. Some have a kind of almost telepathic link. Some of them need to talk. I think in this instance, I think Barca really need to go back to drawing board and start communicating with each other.
Balde has Sila and Fofana to look for. Fofana is in front of Sila, just maybe a bit of a mix-up in communication there. Not sure who exactly was on the ball at the end of it, but either way, Barcelona grateful for the mix-up. Kills you, by the way, his 3rd goal in this matchup between these two teams. Barcelona yet to respond. Can they do it now? Rakitic looking for Suarez, might just let this one run for a corner. Nope, elects to fire it across the face of goal. And it's a bit of good fortune, and it might be what Barcelona need to best the reigning champions so far. It's an equaliser from, I suppose you could say, a very lucky bounce, but they'll take that to the bank.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to complain if that goes for you. You'll certainly be complaining if it goes against you. And it was a bit of presence of mind. You kind of mentioned that the ball might go out and they might just let this go. It's the presence of mind to actually keep it in and just try and do something different. They drilled it across the box. And, you know, it took a fortuitous bounce here. I mean, you know, it looks like if it doesn't hit, you know, I think it just clips off of Messi.
I think it's an own goal.
Yeah, I think it's an own goal.
By the looks of it.
Let's have a look.
You can see the defender there controlled by Green, just covering Messi, and it's the presence from Messi really that makes that goal happen, but I think that one's going to be...
Badiashile, I think, is the man who put through his own net. They need that. Another stat I was going to bring up here. Barcelona, before this game and 15 minutes against Monaco, had the best defence in eFootball Pro. We're seeing again just how good Monaco are, given they've beaten them. Here is Balde, who might do so again, Harry. They are terrifying in the final third, AS Monaco.
They really are, and it's, again, one of those puzzles that teams in the eFootball Pro so far have struggled to really break down. And Barcelona, who, again, quite fortunate to get that equalising goal, might just be the little bit of luck that they need to believe that they can make that net bulge for AS Monaco, as so many teams previously have failed to do. Here is Arturo Vidal for Dembele on this right-hand side. This one will be brought back, I think, for a free kick just on the edge. So a chance here, Wes, for some pressure for Barcelona.
Yeah, and these are these pressure situations. They need to make this count. They have weaponry. You can see their PK's been selected there by Henriquinho, and you've got Langley as well.
Badiashile deals with that one. Rakitic unfortunately ducks underneath the ball. That won't be helping things out. His way through to Suarez though, but he's adjudged to be offside by the linesman.
Yeah, and you know, it's another opportunity to have a chance that has gone by the wayside for Barca. Now they've got to turn their defensive heads on.
One long ball there, by the way. Didn't quite come off, but the difference between that, it's not even a set piece for Monaco. They basically have a free kick anywhere, and it's as good as a set piece almost on the edge of the box, because they're just ploughing it forward. And how many headers has Slimani won today?
I wonder whether or not that might be a design tactic, maybe sensing that Barcelona players, Gufera, Henriquinho and the Palma, maybe look a little frail defensively from that long ball. So Monaco have exploited that a couple of times so far in this match. Here is Suarez, trying to combine with Rakitic, but good defensive work again, pressing early on the ball here for AS Monaco. Balde looking for Slimani, the target man, but it's a little bit rushed so far from Barcelona, from both sides really, as turnovers in possession after those two early goals haven't really had anything to shout about since then. And Vidal has a chance to feed in, but once again, it's just that pressure here, Wes, from Monaco early on.
Yeah, you can see there, though, is that it looks like Barca are actually trying to drag Monaco into a little bit of a dogfight here. Rather than allowing their flow to be established, they're looking to try and make it a bit more frenetic, a little bit more panicky. Except the only problem with that is that Monaco are pretty much at home with any type of way that you want to play against them. You know, we've seen it from the likes of Uzmaka Bar, we've seen it from Lotfi, we've seen that the way that they can contend with that type of play. And obviously you add Kilzu to the mix, and you know, obviously that kind of you know, tells you all you need to know about these sorts of players.
Contentious decision there. Referee says play on. Monaco aren't able to make anything happen in the attacking phase, so we'll see what Barcelona could do now. Lovely through ball into Leo Messi. Can he finish? Oh, it's offside. Off the side of the upright, I should say. That was a gilt-edged opportunity. Lovely ball to find Leo Messi, and it's just the wrong side of the post.
You're not going to get many chances like that against Monaco. You could probably try and dupe the keeper. We saw a little bit of the manually controlled goalkeeper. You could try and throw a shape and just try and, throw him off a little bit, but instead he went straight for the shot and it just clipped off the post and went wide.
Could he have tried to finesse it into the other side of the goal as well?
Potentially, yeah. With that, if you take a small movement, you're going to try and play a little bit of chicken with the opponent, and in a parallel universe somewhere else, Barcelona are 2-1 up.
Dembele looking for Messi, but Barcelona at least showing that they are able to break down the defence of Monaco. You say maybe they won't get too many more opportunities than that, but maybe a little bit of belief now for the Catalan club. Here is Rakitic, combining with Suarez, and he will retain possession. Lovely first touch. Can Rakitic get there? No, he cannot. So now a chance for Monaco to break. Hasila and Balde to look for. It's the latter they find, sprinting down the right-hand side. It's a race with Junior Firpo. Cut out though by Sergi Busquets. Good defending there from Barcelona as we enter the half.
1-1 then, and I have to say, decent comeback that from Barcelona, who were walloped in the opening fixture against Monaco. Fell behind early on. You thought history is repeating itself, but they found a way.
Yeah.
Not necessarily through the most pretty of football, although they had that chance for Messi, but they found a way to stifle Monaco. You have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, well, the goal did eventually get credited to Messi, which was quite surprising. So it must have, I think it was a clearance off of a defender, which, as we said, Messi's presence in the box. It's either the ball's going to go through to Messi, somebody has to make a decision. And I think
Dubious goals panel.
The dubious goals panel have given that there. But you look at the key stat at half-time, 61% possession Barcelona have had, and they're trying to keep the ball away from Monaco, which is where Monaco's power lies. They don't have the ball, they can't do damage to it.
So we'll see if they can get a return on their investment in terms of the possession statistic as we kick off the second half of this second game between these two football clubs. Here is Luis Suarez for Barcelona, just shepherded out of play there, maybe unnecessarily by Jemison. And that will gift Barcelona a corner here early on in the second half. Barcelona attacking from right to left, and the Monegasque club the opposite direction. It will be another corner here for Barcelona, and not too many men in the centre to look for. I mean, 4 within the box, but not too many centrally. It's lofted up to the back post to Gerard Piqué, but nothing doing there, and good covering from Busquets will allow a recycled attack to come in. Dembele, oh, lovely bit of play there to beat Badiashile. Nothing coming after it though. Monaco, what can they conjure up with the talisman Slimani? Just making things certain. It's a long ball once again, looking for Balde. Covered across by Vidal, but unfortunately the long ball a little bit too long there for AS Monaco.
Yeah, and as we said, we can see that Barca have kind of dragged Monaco into this dogfight. They're forcing a long ball scenario. That's not what Monaco want. Monaco want to be able to deliver that ball into Slimani and allow those runners off. You can see the likes of Sila and the likes of Balde who are there, but they can't utilise them. They've taken a little bit of power away from Monaco, which is kind of what you need to do if you're going to be successful against them.
Just 10 minutes into the second half, forced Monaco maybe into a bit of a switch. So we'll see what happens in the last 35 minutes. Monaco aiming for back-to-back wins against Barcelona. If you're just joining us, they thumped them in the first game. They led in this one, but it's 1-1 as we approach the hour mark.
Slimani to Balde, has Pellegrini in support, might just be offside as the ball needed to come a lot earlier than that. A lovely run through from Pellegrini, but just one touch too many meant he was a yard or two offside. And seeing Griezmann once again feature for Barcelona, replacing Luis Suarez, who for me was actually quite effective for the Catalan club. I think he was very effective in their attack, so surprising to see him be withdrawn at the half. And Fofana, who was subbed in the first game, staying on the pitch. Pellegrini looking for Slimani, cut out, good covering there in the end by Guifera. Long ball over the top. Dembele unfortunately cannot win his header. Here is Fofana now, covered again by Guifera. Lovely interception, and now Barca, they can attack in numbers. Here is Dembele, has Messi and Griezmann ahead. Griezmann, that's a crunching tackle by Glick. Needed to be done as well. And defence now into attack. Piqué, though, cuts that one out. Rakitic to Vidal. Griezmann has Dembele and Messi in support. Leo Messi in the centre, lovely footwork, and it's a second goal for Barcelona. Wonderful piece of skill in the centre. And for the first time in these two games, AS Monaco are down and Barcelona lead 2-1.
This goes back to the previous match day where we talked about the Pepe goal, that one goal of match day 4. If you've got players who can produce individual pieces of brilliance, both on the console and both in terms of the actual players you have, allow them to do it. This little bit of risk versus reward was super. Lovely drag back there. It completely takes away anything that Glick can do, and all of a sudden now Barca now have something to hold on to.
Another magical moment from Lionel Messi, and Monaco's unbeaten record in the second season of eFootball Pro is under threat big time, and they know it.
That is unbelievable. Seeing that on the replay, I think it's Guifera. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. But the presence of mind, really, to pull off that skill under that amount of pressure, Wes.
It's huge. You guys have heard me on and off camera talk about when you're in that bubble and you're in that environment, and it's that kind of presence of mind, as we use the expression. It's having that awareness to be able to know what you need to do at those particular points. And that was superb from Guifera.
Certainly was. Just looking at the Barcelona change here, I think Sergi Roberto's come on for Dembele, and they brought him a little deeper.
Yeah, it's
have what they hold, protect the lead. It's a dangerous tactic.
Well, especially with how proficient Monaco are on the attack, it is a dangerous thing to do. And now that you've took Dembele off, that's an option that's no longer there. So they're going to have to be careful here.
Cue Sergi Roberto scoring a goal, by the way.
We'll see if it happens, and if it does, we will, well, surely be looking at AS Monaco's first defeat of the eFootball Pro 2020 season. Just over 20 minutes to be played here in the second half, plus stoppages, of course. But so far, Barcelona, judging by their changes, might not want to take too many risks in the attack. Here is the goal scorer, Messi, looking for Collado. Can't find him, maybe just trying to put the pressure on the Monaco defenders. How can Monaco respond here? Martins finds Ben Yedder, who's been brought into the fold. Pellegrini to Martins, lovely footwork, and Slimani's there, and it's an own goal in the end. I think this is another one that might come down to the dubious goals panel. It's tremendous build-up, and it's a lovely equaliser in the end by AS Monaco. The response when they needed it, but wow, that was unfortunate there from the Barcelona goalkeeper.
Well, that's what we talk about. It was a good save in the first instance. Slimani mopping up, clips off the post, hits off the back of the keeper, and it goes in. On another day, it clips the post and goes wide. But it's like we said, it's that gamble from Barcelona now. You now don't have Dembele. You now have a more defensive option. You've now got to figure out exactly where you're going to go from here. Do you now try and consolidate to go to 2-2? And you can see the frustration on their faces.
You certainly can. It was a good save from Ter Stegen initially. Muted from Monaco, but that's what champions do. If they're not at their best, they make sure they don't lose the game, even if they can't win it.
Unfortunately for Barcelona there, Ter Stegen pushes the ball straight into the on-Russian Slimani. Back heel there from Sergi Roberto. Can Barcelona reinstate their lead? Alex Collado is in here, and lovely bit of manual goalkeeping there by Kilzu. Brings Benaglio across in the AS Monaco goal just to spare their blushes. It was a well-worked ball, really. No one really covering that for AS Monaco, and it leads to a corner.
Yeah, it's that little bit of improvisation from Barcelona. We haven't seen a lot of it, but when it comes to the fore, it's fantastic to watch.
Sergi Roberto then to swing this one in with the right foot. It's going to be an outswinger. Looking for PK. Lenglet! What a finish! And what a goal from Barcelona! They have scored some absolute thunderbolts so far, and that one might be the pick of the bunch.
Well, we talked about those weapons they have at set pieces, and for once, they've actually managed to use them. It's a PK flick on to a long bicycle kick, which, to be honest, if you had him in the sweepstake of scoring bicycle kicks today, I don't think you had him down as your first one. But that is a superb finish, and it's well worked at the corner as well.
No wonder Leo Messi's going over to the goal scorer. That's the type of goal you'd expect him to be scoring, but have a look at that.
Wow. Top
corner, almost clips the underside of the crossbar. Slimani can't believe it. I'm not sure many can. That is a sensational strike. And it's 3-2. What a game.
And if you're being critical of the AS Monaco goalkeeper, Benaglio, maybe it's hit a little too centrally, but I mean, from that distance out with that amount of power,
Yeah, you can't have a go at Benaglio, can you?
surely not.
You're a tough man, Harry.
I just like to see greatness. And now we will see if the response comes in from Monaco, because so far they've, you know, they still have about 15 in-game minutes left, Wes. They still have time on the clock. Do they change anything? Do they maybe push an extra body up top? I mean, it's a risky game to play.
Well, that's the thing. It's if you're Monaco, you as Chris alluded to, they're 5 points clear at the moment as this result stands. Do you want to really need, or do you even need to push forward at this point? But if you're Monaco, you're going to be full of pride and not wanting to lose that streak. If you're Barcelona, you've got 13 minutes to really, you know, kind of, it's almost a giant killing in a weird kind of way. In eFootball Pro stance, this is a bit of a giant killing.
Barcelona now retaining possession. Here is Griezmann in here. The Palma could be his second goal in a row with Griezmann. Takes it around the keeper! And it's 4-2 to Barcelona! Chairs are flying across the stage. And I'll tell you why, Wes, because we're looking at AS Monaco's undefeated streak in the eFootball Pro 2020 season coming to an end. It took 5 match days for them to lose a game, but surely now Barcelona have stolen the first win against them.
Well, you talk about momentum shifts, and you talk about the way that this is brought in. It's a fantastic ball from Guifera, and the presence for the Palma to just take a dummy around the keeper. Just take it round and just nudge it to the side, pop it past him. It's brilliant.
You've seen what I've seen, Chris.
I'm a big fan of that challenge, which didn't quite connect with Griezmann. That would have been a red. That's the sort of challenge that I make when I'm desperately hoping.
Sunday League.
That is Sunday League. That finish certainly was not. What a moment. Monaco's first defeat, unless they can pull something extraordinary out of the bag. And I tell you who will be enjoying this one. Juventus and Bayern, who meet later, the chasing pack behind the defending champions.
Well, AS Monaco might be having nightmares about Griezmann, who put in a tremendous goal just moments ago. Lovely back heel from him there as well to find Messi. Could it be 5 for Barcelona? Might they just try and tick down the clock here, Wes?
What I like about this Barcelona performance in the second game, though, they've gone to their roots and they've used those players the way that they should be. They've used the skills, they've used the back heels, they've used the, you know, the quickness that these players have. They've used the better dribblers in their team, and it's coming up dividends for them. It's perfect.
Sergio Roberto wrestling with Marcelin, I think that was, and you can see how this affects the league table. 21 points at the top would be AS Monaco, but Barcelona now with those 3 points creeping up.
And also, I've just looked at it, Juventus and Bayern, if one of those won both of their games, they would go above AS Monaco and be the table toppers after match day 5. They meet later on today. That is a huge fixture.
It was already huge in the first instance. Yeah. If results stay this way here, it takes on a whole new meaning, that game.
Junior Firpo then chasing this one to no avail as we are in the dying minutes of this match. What a result from Barcelona. I mean, credit to AS Monaco winning the first match, of course. We cannot forget about that. They might even get a consolation here with Slimane finding almost Gelson Martins, but 5 minutes of added time. What a performance from Barcelona. Yes, they're 4th in the table, but no one really expected them to do as much damage as they have here to AS Monaco, and it could be even worse with Griezmann once again tussling with Marcelin. Here is Busquets cut out, but I think this one's a foregone conclusion. Ticking into the final minute added on. Might Barcelona go for one more? Why not? Here is Collado finding Messi. Charged down though by Monaco, and that will be Monaco's first loss of the season. Their undefeated streak comes to an end. Barcelona 4, AS Monaco 2.
What a comeback and what a start to match day 5 of eFootball Pro. Well, Barcelona were brilliant against Monaco in the opening game. And Barca have hit back. The handshakes at the end, a win apiece, which makes the league table look very, very interesting indeed. Extraordinary there. Both of you said, whether Harry's made his way to the mix zone, we're going to hear from the players very shortly. Both of you